Hello guys, so this is going to be a very medium length review of Wolves versus Liverpool. We're 6 games in and we are top of the Premier League thanks to wins against, let me see if I remember this correctly, thanks to wins against Ipswich, Brentford, Manchester United, loss against Forest, but a win against Bournemouth and a win against Wolves. Very impressive first of all that we are top after 6 game weeks. Obviously, we've got Palace away. If we win that, we'll stay top. And then after 7 game weeks with 2 international breaks, pretty much there or thereabouts, we will be top. Look, you know, the Premier League is a long league. The whole season is very long. Anything can happen, but we just have to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy being top of the league, 100%. You know, it's a good time to be happy as a football fan. You know, a lot of times your emotions are up in the air all the time. And this is what I fully expected. You know, we are still a great club. With great players, with great quality, with good experience. And, you know, I do expect us to be top of the league. And this is where we have been for a long time. Since we won the Premier League, this has been the ambition of Liverpool to be competing every single season. And that is the nature of the club. You know, we shouldn't, I am kind of surprised, but then I'm not surprised at the same time. Of course, you know, we have no game in the Premier League is easy. Slot is an unknown quantity. I still think he's slightly unknown. But we're looking very similar to how we were last season. I'm very happy about that. So I believe the Wolves-Liverpool game is a crucial 3 points. Any away win in the Premier League is very crucial. And Wolves last season actually weren't too bad at home. They got a win against Man City. They beat Chelsea. They've never been an easy opponent away from home. And I think Wolves are suffering this season because their squad is very limited. You know, they've lost the likes of Willy Bolly, they've lost the likes of Kilman, they've lost the likes of Pedro Neto, Sarabi is injured, Hwang is out of form, you know, they've lost Moutinho and Ruben Neves over the years, they've had to re-energise their midfield, you know, they've lost a lot of players, so it's unfortunate for Wolves, but, you know, they've had some good results against us in the past, but this is a really important win. As you know, as far as the game was concerned, what a horrible game that was. I thought it was really interesting because we couldn't get our teeth into the game. Wolves did very well in possession. The energy of the crowd was okay, and we couldn't get our teeth into the game. You know, we could have scored with Robertson's ball into Szoboszlai. That's a huge miss. I want to talk about Szoboszlai a bit later, but we couldn't get our teeth into the game. But we did score, and this is what we love to see. We are scoring first a lot more this season. We're scoring in the first half, seemingly a lot more this season. And Konate actually has really improved, in my opinion, in terms of his aerial threat. He didn't get many goals for us in the first 2 seasons, but, you know, that's another contribution. He scored against AC Milan. He got the assist against Bournemouth for Diaz's goal. And he scored a really important and impressive goal right before half-time, which gives the momentum. And, you know, we didn't play well, but we weren't under pressure. Sometimes, you know, you can't always play well. Sometimes your position is going to, you know, dictate the play. But what Liverpool must do is, you know, be clinical in front of goal, take their chances, not make it easy. And that's what we did. And then, obviously, Wolves equalised through a really calamitous error between Alisson, Robbo, Konate. And, yeah, it was annoying. Obviously, I've got Robertson in my fantasy team, so that lost me the clean sheet. But on the other hand, we kind of went straight from kickoff, straight attack, and a clear penalty on Diogo Jota from Trent's ball in. You know, you could argue it's a little bit soft, but Jota did well to make the most of it. And Salah converted. Now, Salah, in my opinion, was really bad that game. I don't know if he was ill. He didn't look right. Every dribble, it wasn't successful. He was giving the ball away far too much. You know, he didn't have many chances on goal. The chances he did have were very weak, very tame. But I'm not complaining. He scored the penalty. He got 10 points for my fantasy team. I captained him. Obviously, Haaland blanked. So it was a great week. You can check out my fantasy football video in the future, you know, after this or whatever. But yeah, so Salah scored and we kind of saw it out. Wolves didn't really offer too much after we went 2-1 up. I'm just trying to think, were they close at any point? Not really. Alisson was pretty comfortable, and the second half we kind of controlled it a bit more, which was pretty all right. So I'm very happy with the 2-1 win. It's very important that we get these away wins. Yeah, so it's very important we get these away wins. I think an away win in the Premier League is always great. It feels extra delightful. And yeah, there's not really much more to say about the game. Actually, let me talk about Szoboszlai. I think he's had a mixed start to the season. I really do think there's a player there, but sometimes football matches, sometimes football teams, first and foremost, 3 points are most important, but sometimes you're not going to get 10 out of 10 from every player. The player still has to find themselves in the team. The player has to still identify their role. The player is still someone who has to kind of mentally grapple with what he's meant to do. And, throughout the years, we've never had midfielders who contribute massively. We had Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, Chamberlain, Wijnaldum, Milner. We've never really had a proper attacking midfielder, to be honest. I'm just trying to think, I said Oxlade-Chamberlain, obviously Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Thiago as well in the last few years. So again, those guys haven't been to attacking. The likes of Curtis Jones, occasionally Naby Keita, occasionally Oxlade-Chamberlain, occasionally Harvey Elliott, probably more so Harvey Elliott, they've contributed from the midfield. But last season, Szoboszlai did get there. McAllister, who is an incredibly versatile player, he contributed, but we're still kind of lacking. But with the signing of Szoboszlai, he's an out-and-out attacking midfielder. He's a cam, he's a number 10, he's also a number 8. So he's got a lot of running to do. He's got a big job on his hand. And, for Hungary, he's just the 10. He's just the Odegaard of Hungary. He's the De Bruyne of the Hungary national team. That's why he has a free role. He's the man. He's the captain. He has more confidence, in my opinion, to shoot, to score free kicks. With Liverpool in the Premier League, there's more responsibility. You have to be more tidy. You have to do a lot more dirty work. So I feel like there's a lot of indecision that goes through his head when he's one-on-one. But I think we just have to let him play the matches. Let him figure out what he's supposed to do when he's driving forward. Ideally, I want to see someone driving forward, shoot with their left foot. He scored a couple of great goals with his left foot last season. So I don't think it's a problem. He really should have scored. But look, he's an attacking midfielder. He needs to get in the box. And he has immense talent, in my opinion. He really knows how to strike the ball. But it is sometimes you've just got to find that specific moment, that specific time in the games when, okay, I've got a yard of space. Let me turn, let me shoot, let me test the keeper. When you test the keeper confidently, with shots outside the box, you gain confidence, you gain belief. So it feels like he's a lot of things to do, and he wants to improve. He wants to keep contributing. So as long as the desire is there, as long as the passion is there, as long as the work rate is there, and of course, as a midfielder, you need to be tidy. He's a great passer of the ball. I really do believe that. We've got to keep faith in him, but the performances haven't been all too amazing. But we've still become an elite team without having such attacking midfielder because of the creativity of Robertson, because of the creativity of Trent. So it's not the most important thing. Look, as long as we win trophies, as long as we win football matches, I don't care who scores the goals. I don't care what kind of. I don't really care whether the player's personal desires are met. It's about the team because it's a team game. Of course, it'd be nice for every player to think, "Fuck, I contributed massively. I'm so happy. I scored this goal. I got these assists." And all this shit. But at the end of the day, the 3 points are most important. However, that being said, it is early on in the season. We want to feel like Szoboszlai can be a reliable asset in the midfield. But there is competition. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott. Not too much competition. Gravenberch, Endo, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. That's kind of it, really. So, obviously, he doesn't have to start every game. McAllister, Endo, and Gravenberch can start. So yeah. But I would say, the fixtures that we've had haven't been too bad. When you're playing any mid-table side from, let's say, Newcastle below, I'm saying Newcastle 7th, then you've got a top 6, and then, maybe from Newcastle, Villa, top 7, let's say Newcastle, the likes of 8 to 10, 8 below, so the likes of Newcastle, West Ham, Brentford, Wolves, Palace, Forest, Southampton, Ipswich, Everton, etc., etc. The importance of a centre CDM isn't as important in my opinion. We've seen City do it all the time. Rodri, then De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. That's hopefully something that we can do, and then that gives Szoboszlai the feeling that he is going to get regular minutes. He is going to contribute. He knows what he's doing. So I just sense a lot of indecision. And I just hope that he can continue to get these goals and to get these contributions in these types of games. So again, I've spoken about Salah. I really think that was a very embarrassing display. As I said, I don't know if he was ill or not. Jota, I think, was really, really good. Contributed greatly, winning the penalty, the assist for Konate's goal. And look, we've got to judge players as a whole. Sometimes you don't want to score. Okay, great. Someone else will take the plaudits. Diaz did in the last game, then Salah might do one game. Jota is an incredibly versatile player. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can score a header, he can score great goals. He's an incredible player to have. Hopefully he stays fit, because our record with Jota is so strong. And he's also a very intelligent player. He's very, very reliable. Really, really reliable, Jota. And I do also think Gakpo is becoming so much more reliable. When he came on, I see a player who drives, I see a player who holds the ball up well, I see a player who passes the ball really well, I see a player who wants hungry, and his finishing is impeccable in my opinion. Gakpo, I think, is one of the most clinical players in Liverpool's team. For sure it's not Salah, and for sure, in my opinion, of course, it's not Nunes, but it's also not Jota. So I think Gakpo is really clinical. So it's very nice to have him in our team. He had an incredible Euros, incredible start to the Champions League campaign against AC Milan. So I'm and of course he was great against West Ham. So things are looking really good for Liverpool. I have absolute faith in our attack. I do also highly rate Federico Chiesa. I hope he gets the nod in some games. He will have to. Champions League, I think he should start. I think he's a great player. I think Slot really needs to allow him to express himself. But I'm liking a lot of what Slot is saying so far. He's a bit less conservative than Klopp, because Klopp never really called out players initially. Well, not even initially. He never really personally said, but he said many times, I'd like Kwanzaa to do this, or I think Konate should have done this, or Diaz maybe missed this chance here, or X, Y, Z, or Gakpo was this. We actually haven't had that. We didn't get that from Klopp. He always kind of kept his opinions on his players behind closed doors. So I like to see that from Slot. I like to see what he's thinking. I want to know that we have a manager who is dedicated to absolute perfection, dedicated to 100% winning every game. And yeah, I like him. Look, I don't care about the relationship right now. Does he have that much charisma? Not really. But I just want to see a manager that's dedicated to Liverpool Football Club, that's going to win us games all the time. And I'm loving his attention to detail so far. So look, Wolves 1, Liverpool 2. It wasn't the perfect game. It was really embarrassing. And I can't say I'm that confident having watched that. I just can't say I'm that confident heading forward. So let me give a special mention to the likes of Ryan Gravenberch. He's genuinely immense. I actually loving this guy. I'm a bit worried because he doesn't have that much protection on him. He's doing a lot of the grafting by himself. But look, by all means, give Gravenberch the confidence, let him run. He's really, 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 really looking impressive. And it's so healthy to have a midfielder that can, defend really well, that can, move possession on really well, that can drive really well, that can be, that has a lot of versatility, that's random as well, and he can shoot. He's got a great shot on him. We didn't really have that with Fabinho. Fabinho was a destroyer. It was a very simple play. He passed the ball left, right, and centre. Did the job. A couple of overhead through balls. So and you know what? We still have Endo. So look, I don't think we're going to win the league. I don't think we're strong enough. I think City and United, not United, God forbid United, and Arsenal are far stronger than us right now. They really are. I'm obviously going to play along with the league shouts, of course, but I have to be realistic. I thought last season we had a better chance of winning the league because of Klopp. We were 100%. So we need to see Slot when we're under pressure. Can we get the late last minute winners, which we did under Klopp all the time? So I'm not that confident, but we'll just hopefully wait and see. We've got Palace next. Then after that is Arsenal and Chelsea. I'm very excited to see what Liverpool can do. I think we can. Our max is really, really impressive. We've got to keep our players fit. I especially think Van Dijk and Konate being fit is highly important. But I also think what's really imperative is that we sign in January. I do think our squad is good enough. I think if we're going to go deep into the Champions League, we have to sign. It's negligence of the highest order if we don't sign another midfielder and a defender, in my opinion. But look, we have some depth. We have Tsimikas, Bradley, Kwanzaa, Jones, Endo, Harvey Elliott, on the bench. So, and look, as if Nunes wants to be unleashed as well, that's another weapon we can have. So, happy days. It's a solid season. It's still a bit quiet, but the intensity will improve and heat up sooner rather than later. So, up the fucking Reds. We're going to win the fucking league, mate. And up the fucking Arne Slot Reds. You'll never walk alone. Come on, the boys.